All right, good morning, y'all. Out here in a morning walk. Had a couple things I wanted to share I thought might be useful. Some realizations that I've had lately just to reinforce some things that we feel like are important. And, we're always recommending people have some kind of a focus or that they tinker with something at any given point in time just to keep things fresh and exciting. And so I feel like these two little tips that I have around sleep and carbohydrates are going to be really beneficial because it was a really good realization for me. So, I sleep pretty good almost every night. I do everything that I need to do to facilitate good sleep. I get sun every day. I start to wind down before bed. I try to finish my meal 2 hours, maybe 1.5 hours before bed. And I have blue light blocking glasses and all that stuff, right? But some nights my sleep is better than others. And what I do notice is the nights that I have relatively poor sleep, the next day is slightly different, right? My vitality, my vibrancy, my clarity, even my mood and my emotions are slightly off. And it's useful to understand that and know that because, sometimes you're in a little bit of a funk and you don't know why you're in a funk. You can't track it back to anything. But when you understand, wow, if I didn't have a good sleep last night, that contributes to my, funkness, then I think that's useful and beneficial because it reinforces how important it is to get really good sleep. And then also something I've noticed is that if I have too many carbohydrates in the evening, that tends to do the same thing. I have a little bit of a funk feeling, and then also like I feel a little bit bloated and puffy, so my body composition feels different. So in the context of eating 100% real food, our way, and if you don't know how to eat real food, you can just ask us, and we've got some free getting started stuff. But in the context of eating 100% fresh real food, we recommend that you moderate your carb consumption in the evening to maximum of 3/4 of a cup of safe starches and 3/4 of a cup of fresh fruit, and that you time that later in the day, and we have a lot of different reasons for that. But sometimes if I get really casual and lax with it, I can easily in the evening have like who knows how much, a bowl of fruit, a bowl of berries. If I don't measure it out, like I can have a lot, and I usually do a little bit of dark chocolate, a little bit of honey with it. And the nights that I kind of let myself go overboard with it, I definitely feel different the next day. Now, on the contrast, like when I get a really good night's sleep, the next day, man, I feel so freaking great and happy and clear. Or if I moderate my carb consumption, and for me, my sweet spot is a half a cup of fresh fruit, a rounded half a cup, so a heaping half a cup of fresh fruit, and then a little bit of honey, a little bit of dark chocolate. If I measure that out and I stay there and I don't go beyond that, then again, the next day I feel lean and mean and tight and clean, and it's great. And then if I do those two things together, like if I get a really good solid night's sleep and I measure and moderate my carbs, then it's just like night and day difference. It really is. And it's all relative. Most days I feel really, really good, but the feeling goodness is like on another level. So my takeaway for this is that if you need something to tinker with, maybe focus on and understand that sleep is extremely important. Do the things that facilitate sleep for you, because most of us know what those things are. At a minimum, having a solid amount of bedtime, getting some sun during the day, winding down at night, maybe not eating too close to bed, and trying to kind of shut off all your stuff when you go to bed. And then for carbohydrates, no matter where you're at in that real food spectrum, staying to 100% fresh real food is optimal, but definitely measuring out your carbohydrates and keeping those down to maximum of 3/4 of a cup of each of fresh fruit and safe starches. I think a half a cup is going to be actually even more beneficial because it gives you the benefit of having the carbs, it gives you the sanity of having the carbs, but you're still relatively lower carb-ish, right? And just try it out for a few days, man. I'm telling you, it's a game changer. All right. Thank y'all.